So as you may know, I am opening up a bakery at Otter Pointe Resort. So our guests can order baked goods when they show up and it'll be delivered to their dome. And we're also opening it up so people in the public can order and come pick it up.
Amazing.
So this weekend, we have been extremely lucky that our mums have come all the way from Niagara to practice baking everything that we think we should sell to start out. Mm-hmm. And now Ian has very kindly, graciously agreed to help me taste test everything that we have made.
Well, that's right. So I am indeed Ian, and this is indeed Abby. This is Otter Pointe Resort. Utterly Delicious, first line of baked products. Abby, what do we have on the trays in front of us?
All right, so we have Nona's famous ginger cookies, which are my absolute favorite. We have two kinds of brownies, one that I have been making and one that Nona has been making. So we're going to see which is better.
Okay.
And then we have my famous double chocolate cake in cupcake form.
It all looks amazing, and the smells coming from the kitchen have smelled amazing. I can't wait to test it. So Abby, just help me out here. There's 4 cookies, 2 are broken in half. What does that all mean?
Oh, so we had some debates, and some of the cookies were cooked for 9 minutes and some for 10. So we're trying to find that perfect consistency.
All right.
So I need some feedback regarding what length of time.
Same recipe, different baking time. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. And I, as the guest judge, I have decided I'm going to be rating these baked goods by texture. I like a nice chewy texture. I don't want it too dry and obviously not too moist because maybe it's not cooked enough. I like a nice chewy texture, I think, as we all do. I like a rich taste, whatever the taste is supposed to be. If it's ginger, I want it to be ginger. If it's chocolate, I want it to be chocolate. Simple guy. And the third is going to be appearance, because we eat with our eyes before we eat with our mouths. Isn't that right, Abby?
I agree.
Amazing. So what am I picking up here?
This is the 9-minute ginger cookies. So
okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Right off the bat, I got a hit of ginger and then a lot of sweetness in the aftertaste. So I'm going to rate this 9-minute ginger cookie. Boy, I mean, call me biased, but that's an 8.5 out of 10 texture. God, I want to say an 8 out of flavor. And appearance, I'll give it a 6, but it still looks very nice.
Is that because it was cut in half, or are you judging these cookies?
Well, I mean, for what they are, they're beautiful. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. They have a simple presentation. We're all about simplicity. Okay.
So people watching know, just so you're not mad at Ian, he has never rated anything 10 out of 10 in his entire existence. Anything above a 6 is pretty good for him.
It's a unicorn. Okay, let's try the longer cooked ones.
By 1 minute.
All right. Okay. That was actually very helpful. Taste is very good, by the way. When you try these cookies, it's going to bring you back to when your grandma made you homemade cookies, because the flavor is so intense and sort of homemade. It's not the superficial sweetness you get at the store. It's a really rich.
Authentic?
Yeah, but it's an old school flavor. You're going to love it. And I'm going to give this, though, this 10-minute cookie, a 7 out of 10 out of texture.
It's not as good.
Well, the texture isn't quite as satisfying, but the flavor is still all there. So again, an 8. Presentation, again, a 6. Okay.
All right, so we're going to cook them for 9 minutes. We have discovered something.
The judge votes 9 minutes, but I've been wrong before. Come down for yourself, try, and you can tell us what you think too. We want to hear your feedback.
And we will eat all of this at the end. We're just, for the sake of the video, moving along.
So, what do we have? What should we try first?
Okay, why don't we do the debate with the brownies?
Okay, I will try the Nona recipe brownies. Cheers. Wow. Okay. Well played. Well played, brownie. This brownie somehow is both moist and thick and light. I don't get it, but I'm not a cook. Wow. And it's so not quite sticky, but it's getting to that, and it just sort of coats your mouth and you're just tasting the chocolate whole time. So for the texture, God, I give it a 9. I give it a 9. For the flavor, man, it's good. The only thing I would add is a bit of crunch, maybe chocolate chips or nuts. Now, obviously, Abby has a nut allergy, so maybe not.
And just for the record, nothing in Otterly Delicious will contain nuts. It's a completely peanut and nut-free bakery.
Safe for you and your loved ones. But again, flavor, I give it a 9. It's just awesome. Maybe some raspberries in there. I don't know. Maybe a little icing. I don't know. But that's really good. And then for appearance, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to zoom in my hand. You can see The side is a nice dark chocolate, and the top has somehow turned into a glaze that's cracking like the top of some of those like evaporated salt lakes you see on TV. It just looks so cool. It's shiny. It just looks so appetizing. So I keep giving this thing a 9, but it gets a 9 across the board.
All right, I feel bad for these brownies. This is the recipe I was using before Nona bequeathed unto me her better recipe.
All right, well, let's try it. Okay. I mean, I think what we have here is a difference between exuberance and experience. And I'm sorry, I'm chewing a bit with my mouth open. But it's just because, in reality, we want to judge these right off the bat. So, the positive things about this brownie is that at some point you do get some chocolate flavor. However, the texture it's a bit mushy. So the texture is going to get a 5. The flavor is good. About 2 seconds in, you get a lot of cocoa chocolate flavor, which I like. It's not too sweet, which I also like. But now that I'm like processing it and then my mouth is kind of washing out all the flavor, it's so cocoa-y. I feel like I've just taken a spoonful of cocoa powder in the gums. So not ideal. And this is no offense to the chef. Again, we have a very enthusiastic recipe that only rates a 4 on flavor. Still very good. And I mean, 4 is good. Listen, if you go to Tim Hortons and you get their donuts there, I'm talking like 1s and 2s here. Okay, that's not what we're about. We're about quality ingredients, but still, even on that scale.
And to be fair, this recipe did not turn out well. I knew that going in.
I mean, you have to let the judge finish the decision here. So we got a 4. And then, if you like a lot of chocolate flavor, this is the brownie for you. I will say, if you like that. And then, like, if you've ever eaten a 99% cocoa bar at the grocery store, you're gonna love this brownie. Me, I like a little bit more essence. Now, and then in terms of appearance, I mean, look, it's got a sort of a chunky look to it, but
it's dark chocolate.
It's not doing it for me. It doesn't have the polished finish. It looks a bit lumpy. And though I love Abby, I'm going to give this a 3 on looks.
Again, didn't turn out well.
She's defending it, but she doesn't have to, because we're moving past that. And we're moving on to our final. Wow. Can I get a drink? Or is that, no, you know what? We'll save it. Doesn't matter. Because we're moving on. And this is not a criticism. This is a judging video.
It's not a criticism.
It's not. We have to be open. A relationship is built on trust.
Oh gosh.
It's built on trust. And now we're going to cheers to her final product.
This is my best cake.
What is this?
It's my double chocolate cake. I've been making it for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good.
I'm going to pop this one. Now that has some depth. So what we have here is a cupcake that has a very nice, airy base. And I really like the icing because it's not too thick, but it's creamy. And it hits right away. Right away, your taste buds taste that sweetness of the icing. And then after you chew a little bit, you get into that fluffy, cloud-like cupcake. And then it's a nice, clean finish. I'm not getting that overwhelming cocoa cloud. So I'm going to give this on texture. It's great for a cupcake. Maybe a little on the dry side. I'm going to give it an 8. Okay? And then flavor-wise, I really liked it because it's just light. You could have it at a luncheon. This isn't your dessert cupcake. I would say this is like a cake or, like I said, like a brunch. Very nice. And I'm going to give it we'll give it a 7. We'll give it a 7. That's still very high. Trust me, that's still really high. It's just because you haven't tasted these brownies. That's why you don't understand. But you will when you come to Otter Pointe. And finally, for appearance, they look very cute, but they're missing some color. It's brown on brown. They're going to get a 6. And that ends the judging segment. So I just want to say thank you for watching this. Thank you for coming down to Otter Pointe and checking out our amazing chef, Abby, and her forays. Otterly Delicious, the nut-free, local, high quality, and I would dare to say healthy when you compare all the different dessert options available to you. These are healthy because they're simple and they're just made with care and love and quality. So come on down and check them out. Thank you, Abby. My fingers are chocolatey, but we'll do a little fist pump. And Yeah, check out our other videos. See you soon.
And I will not be making these brownies. We tried it, didn't work, but that's okay. We'll get past it.
Otterly delicious. See ya.
What was many minutes for us was just moments for you. We are back with more desserts for Ian to taste test for me. This time around, we have 2 recipes that we're very excited about. We have an alleged dupe of the Miss Fields cookies and what was voted Canada's best carrot cake. So we're going to see how I did and if these recipes hold up to the internet fanfare. So what would you like to try first, Ian?
They both look amazing. I'm going to tuck this out so the camera can catch it a little bit. This looks amazing. It's got a nice, what I think could be buttercream. I mean, I wasn't involved in the baking of this. I am as neutral as cream cheese frosting. That sounds amazing. So we've got some of those. And then, but I just can't resist this delicious platter. And you can expect when you come down to Otter Pointe, you're going to get this homemade feel. Going back in time to these homemade cookies. I want to try these first.
I think he's trying to express that a lot of the cookies you get at the store taste very chemically. And mine do not, because I use only real ingredients.
There you go. So should we do this?
We should split a cookie.
Split a cookie? Here, why don't you take, it's like splitting a wishbone. Oh.
Here, I'll switch with you.
Oh, yeah, that's so nice. Hope she's not trying to bribe the judge. All right, well, cheers.
Cheers.
Holy mackerel. All right, so if you didn't catch our last video, I'm going to put this down, although it's might take another bite. Put that down. So, in the last video, friends, I judged, as I do, 3 criteria for these baked goods. I had texture, looking for a gooey, satisfying mouthfeel, which we all love so much. I went for taste, being blasted by satisfying flavor that we all want. And 3, a nice appetizing appearance to really help whet the appetite. Well, when I sank my fangs into this cookie, I gotta say, first of all, I ate with my eyes first. What did my eyes see? I'll hold up a unbitten one. Might not stay unbitten for long. I'll get to that later. You can see this is a very lovely cookie, both front and bottom. Gone are the days of an overcooked bottom. I don't know what recipe she's magicked out, but we have a nice golden bottom, and on the top, you can see just a nice creamy color. And inside, when you break it open, look, I'm gonna zoom in a bit. Look at all that melted chocolate. If your mouth isn't watering, you might wanna go see your doctor. This is the chocolatest chocolate chip cookie. But when we get down to judging it, I digress. An appearance, I give them a 6.5 out of 10. Now, maybe that doesn't sound so high. If you missed our last video, I'm a notoriously harsh judge.
Just so you know, this is all the same video. I'm editing them together.
That is cool. So you will have known that I'm a very harsh critic. But it's because I note that all those cookie, to me, has a plain beauty. It's missing some color. It's missing a bit of texture on the top. But overall, it's a very pleasing cookie. Sometimes you'll see what I like, personally, Abby, is sometimes if the chocolate chips are sticking out a bit to see like I don't know why they're not here. They're kind of sticking out at the bottom.
I can add that.
But
I can put them.
But honestly, 6.5 for appearance. Now we get to the most critical one, which is taste. These cookies are out of this. This is a 9.5 cookie, folks. A 9.5. You've heard it from me.
I am beside myself. I don't know if anyone knew this, but Ian's favorite dessert, if he was on death row and had to pick something, would be brownies. He would live and die on the hill of brownies. So the fact that he's rated these cookies over the brownie is astonishing.
It's just, yes. It's the reason they're so good is because a good chocolate chip cookie, you know how your grandma used to make oatmeal cookies? And you were like, these are good. They have that like rich sort of, that grainy flavor, which we love, but I want more sweetness. Well, this combines all that gooey chocolate, and it's so good, by the way. I don't know what kind of chocolate this is, but it's just melt in your mouth, silky smooth, sweet to the last drop. I mean, it is liquid chocolate. It is literally liquid chocolate, folks. I don't know what alchemy this is. And
semi-sweet chocolate.
And then it's wrapped, semi-sweet chocolate, and then it's wrapped in that rich kind of grain flavor. So it is just amazing. Again, I can't get over that. So 9.5, 6.5 appearance, 9.5 taste. And in terms of texture, I guess a byproduct of that silky chocolate is that it's really gooey. It's exactly what I'm looking for. When I bite into it, there's no resistance. And I just love that. Just chewing, so soft and so chewy. And for that, it gets a 9. So this is a fantastic, well done.
Thank you. I'll be making more of these, apparently.
Lots more for you when you come down too, I'm sure. Now, what's next?
All right. So again, it always makes me nervous when you love something because, you know, we have to try other things too.
Yeah.
So this was voted, not my recipe, but Canada's best carrot cake with a cream cheese frosting.
A pedigree.
A pedigree. So we're going to try it and see what we think. And
yes, I'm looking forward to it. A carrot cake always best enjoyed with a cup of tea or something like that. Well, let's just see. I'm going to spear. Now, allow me to this is good. Now, this is what I like. Okay, I got to say this is good. I got a few points to make, mostly positive. This is what I like about this carrot cake. And I can see why Canada voted this recipe numero uno. Because it's got that, what's the frosting?
Cream cheese.
Amazing. It's so simple, but it's so rich and delicious. When you put this in your mouth, you're going to taste that texture. It's so creamy and so rich and light. And it just is like heaven the first second it's in your mouth. And then suddenly you're getting that carrot cake flavor. Now, I will say I would have liked a little more of a carrot hit, but there's sweetness, there's richness. And so I'm going to go right to rating it. In terms of appearance, I give it a 7. Now, it could have a little more even icing, but I think there was a bit of a rush. And I also think that when you cut up carrot cake, you tend to disrupt the icing. So
I was trying to go for a more rustic look.
Okay, well,
it was a design attempt. It didn't work with him. Maybe you like it. I don't know.
Maybe you like it. Maybe a dash of, I don't know, cinnamon on it, just to give it a little bit even more 3D. But I got to say, it's a good look. 7, because, and I like that. I'm colorblind, but even I can see there's a nice color to this carrot cake. And so it gets a 7. And then in terms of flavor, now I've already talked about it, but I was really impressed because nothing that this baker bakes and nothing you're going to get at Otterly Delicious is mild. You're going to get exactly what you came for, which is a delicious, full-bodied, full-flavored flavor. And I got this, the icing, and there's still quite a bit of carrot in there, and that sweetness. You
want to know the secret?
Should we tell everyone the secret? There's a secret.
There's recipes on the internet. I think it's going to be okay. Pineapple. It gives a hint of sweetness and adds that extra moisture. And I have to say, I've had a few carrot cakes in my time. Not many, but a few. And I have to say that this is by far the nicest recipe because I like that it doesn't overpower you with the carrot. I like that it's not too spicy. I like that it has that hint of sweetness. That's just me. But this is my favorite of the carrot cakes I've ever tried.
It's funny that you mentioned, as soon as she said the word pineapple, you can start tasting it. And it's very nice. So the flavor gets a 9.
Wow.
Yes. And the texture, 8.5. Maybe a little lighter would have been nice, but you know, this was a very good product. So sweet. I got to say, I want to give you a big high five to the chef and all you out there watching this and thinking, boy, I'd like to get some of those on my clutches. And you can, nut-free, high quality, made with love, made with simple ingredients, and come on down to Otter Pointe. We'd love to get you a fresh batch, right, Abby?
I would actually really love that. And we're getting saunas. So just think, come here, book in for the sauna, take a cool dip in the lake, go back to the sauna, have some desserts in your dome waiting for you. You know, watch the stars. Yeah. It's a pretty nice night.
We're just so grateful for everyone who comes down and supports us, and it makes this place so special. It's because of people like you. And so big thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you, Chef Abby. Thank you to Nona. Chef Nona, apologies. Chef Nona and Chef Barb, who are behind the scenes. And you might have heard them a little bit there. And they are
laughing.
They are laughing at me, but I deserve it. And coming at you from Otter Pointe, the delicious, Otterly Delicious Bakery. Come check us out.
The Otter Pointe is.
Hello everyone. So, although this is part of the same video for you, this is Otterly Delicious, sort of our third batch. If you've been following along, thank you, because this is a journey of entrepreneurship for Otterly Delicious here at Otter Pointe Resort. So Abby, you're off screen. I'm here all by myself, but who do I have? What do I have in front of me?
All right, so per popular demand, I have been told that we need to make some cinnamon buns. And I have made a recipe that comes highly rated by Chef Nona. And we've tried them both with and without frosting just to sort of get a sense of what you think tastes better and if we should offer both. I'm not sure. We're going to get your feedback.
All right, so I don't have to go through the judging criteria. We've beaten that horse to death. I'm just going to dig right in. So I'm not sure if you were able to see. I want you in the audience to be able to see. They're pretty sticky, which is a good sign, so they won't slide off the plate too much, but you can see frosted, and sticky is good. And unfrosted. Oh, I can use my thumb. So these look amazing. They are a golden color on this side. On this side, I see lots of tasty, tasty frosting. So I'm going to start with the frosted one. Does not look good. And look at the white, fluffy sides. That's going to be amazing. All right, here we go.
You can give some of your criteria just for the audience.
Yes, indeed. Now, it's impossible to eat a good cinnamon bun with total and complete etiquette, so I apologize if I'm smacking and smearing, but it is so good. So my initial thoughts are, again, if we start with texture, these are right out of the oven. They're nice and warm, and man, are they fluffy. Like you bite into it and it's like your teeth feel no resistance. You just go down, and the first thing you taste is that really sweet, really rich frosting, and that lingers for a bit. And then suddenly the notes of cinnamon sort of slam into you, and that is a very satisfying, very sweet, I will say very sweet bun. And so for texture, I give it, you know me, I love chewy. I don't like it too crispy. I think many of us are like that, and so I'm going to give it an 8. In terms of taste, I'm going to give it a 7 because I wanted a little bit more cinnamon richness. I felt a little bit overpowered by the sweetness, but if you've got a sweet tooth out there, you are going to love these. Very nice and sweet. It's not too sweet, but I like a little bit more cinnamon. And then in terms of appearance, these look very nice, but I'm going to have to give them a 7, and only because when I'm looking at them next to these ones, I can already see, and you can tell. I mean, the eye just really loves those swirls, right? But on the same token, if you look at and open up these frosted ones, look how beautiful. Isn't that nice? That's delicious. I might have one more bite.
They're from the same batch.
That was even better, actually. Okay. So, very nice. Very, very nice. Like, I give them these numbers, but anything above a 5 in my book is astronomical. So these are delicious. I was provided a cup of water for this set, and this will be used to make sure nice clean palate. I've seen that on TV, and I'm sure it does something. So now we get to the cinnamon buns, sans icing. It's the same recipe apparently. Have you ever smelled the cinnamon bun out of the oven? It is like heaven. So that's good. Wow. Okay. This is I'm sort of maybe prejudging, but these are already my favorite cinnamon buns. So what can I tell you about them? In terms of texture, when you pop them in your mouth, it's the same thing. Very, very fluffy, very moist at the same time. There's no dryness. There's no crispiness, which I like. Look at how soft that peels apart. That gravity. You know what? Let's do a little experiment. We're going to do a little experiment. Sorry about this. I'm destroying the artist, but hello? Is that not the most decadent dough you've ever seen?
And just for the record, this is the same batch, the same recipe. The only difference between the two plates is that one has been frosted and one has not been frosted.
That is amazing. Look at that. Just delicious. And probably shouldn't play with your food this much, but I'm just enjoying it. This is a review video, so I get certain liberties. In terms of this is nice. So this is the taste. This is the real kicker here for me. I like a cinnamon bun that has a really bready, almost sort of a yeasty flavor, I'm going to say. Because we all love the taste of like a croissant, of like a buttered piece of homemade bread. That's exactly what I get from this. So the nice thing about not having the icing is it highlights that bread flavor, which I love. And also the cinnamon hits a lot harder because it's not competing with the icing. So I got to say, these are really good. I give them a 9 out of texture. I think I gave them a 9 as well. So the same thing. Flavor. I'm so reluctant to give 9.5, but I have to. A 9.5. This is an amazing cinnamon bun. And I've had a lot of cinnamon buns. And in terms of appearance, I mean, look how good that is. Golden, delicious, they get a 9. So this is a high ranking product right here. And so Abby, when can people get these at Otterly Delicious?
Hopefully soon. I'm not going to give a date in case I'm wrong and people are sad with me.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe to summarize, because again, this is exactly the same batch of cinnamon buns.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be able to give a couple pointers to people? Maybe who would be best to buy it with icing and who without icing? Maybe who would prefer each option?
Sure, I can. I mean, it's all personal choice, obviously. But I would say it's not just in terms of flavor, it's a time of day. I would say these would be great as a dessert primarily, because you've just had that nice savory meal, and it's after you have something salty, you have to have something sweet. You got to have something sweet. So this is going to be a great dessert option. And this, to me, I can see myself going out, walking to the point, sitting down at a picnic table, for breakfast, when you stay here, or lunch, a nice little romantic picnic or whatever. And you sit down with these, and they're not too sweet, and you just enjoy them. And I think we'll be able to actually order them. You'll be able to order them from your dome or your cabin.
Yep.
But overall, I would say if you like a more subtle flavor, you're going to want the uniced. And if you just want like birthday cake mixed with cinnamon bun, you're going to want this. So they're both amazing, though. I got to say, top caps off to the chefs.
Well, thank you. Coming at you from Otter Pointe.
Otterly Delicious. Come check us out.